Okay, I'll just give you the khulasa and the ruling of pictures because of the hadith. Point number one, just bullet points. This is the khulasa summary, and each of these summary needs to be made into a lecture. The evidence is for it, what both parties say, what's their evidence. This is a summary of the discussion. Number one, the pictures which are prohibited, which is in point number one, is the pictures which have dhawatul arwah. They have soul. Okay, the pictures which are prohibited is called taswir, which is dhawatul arwah. Arwah means has souls. Okay, like human beings, animals, birds, things like that. They have soul, right? Pictures of that is prohibited. Anything that does not have soul, like drawing a pillar, for example, or a mountain, or things like that, or the sky, or the trees, فَلَا حَرَجَ فِي تَصْوِيرِهِ. Point number two. The prohibited pictures that these ahadith refer to is the picture drawn with the hand. The picture which is صِنَاعَةُ الْيَدِ, it's done with the hand. And it doesn't matter whether it is you drew it on a paper, or if you carved it and made it into a statue, it doesn't matter. Okay, also it doesn't matter if you use the computer or your app and you do it with your hand, it's all the same. You use Adobe, or you've got something and you scribble a picture, it's as long as it's done with your hand and you were the one who did this, it's prohibited. Point number three, there is no difference between that which has shade and that which doesn't have shade. Because some of the scholars, they say the difference is only if it has a shade. So remember the first one, what did I mention? It has soul, right? Sah? Has soul. So some of the scholars say no, it's not all of the souls. It's not all. If it has shade, it's prohibited. If it doesn't have shade, so they're referring to statue and a drawn picture, separating between the two. The third one, no, there's no separation. It's the same. Whether it has a shade or whether it doesn't have a shade, the picture that you've drawn, it doesn't matter. So hand, or whether it's a statue and it has a shade, statue does not have a shade, it falls under taswir. You drew it with your hand, it falls under taswir. Whether you say it has a shade or not, it doesn't matter. Fahimtum? Point number four. There are 5 reasons why pictures are prohibited. Number one, al-mudahat, imitating or trying to resemble the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's the best translation for the mudahat? Yeah, resemblance, huh? The second one is ta'zim, veneration, ta'zim, glorifying. Okay, that's 2. Second reason is ta'zim, to glorify. Pictures are means of ta'zim. 3, angels not entering your houses. عدم دخول الملائكة, the angels not entering the house. That's 3. Okay, 4 is a tashabbuh bil kuffar, imitating the disbelievers. 5, ida'atul mal. Ida'atul mal is what? Waste of wealth and money. Those are the 5 reasons that you'll find in the nusus, the text, and the statements of the scholar. Number 5. The reasons are 5. Point number 5 is pictures that have soul is permissible when there is a haja. Like looking at a woman, is it halal? No. But what about when you want to get married to her? See, changed. The reason why at the beginning you couldn't look at her is because it's going to lead to zina. You see, because the looking itself is not prohibited. It's prohibited because of what it's going to lead to. Sah? And now that it's not going to lead to that, but it's going to lead to this, it becomes what? Permissible. But to get to it permitted for you, it doesn't have to reach darura. It's permitted on the grounds of what? Haja. If there's a little haja for it, you can do it. The picture here, because of those 5 reasons, it's going to lead to, the picture itself, in and within itself, is not haram. It's prohibited because of these ilal. It's leading to these things because of these reasons. Now, we realize your picture is an ID so that nobody else uses your ID to come into the country. We say it's fine. It's good. It makes sense. It doesn't have to reach darura. Passports are not darura. They're a haja. Are we all together? It's not a darura or a haja. Does that make sense? What can also fall under there? What can fall under there is if there's ta'aleem, education. If you need that picture for educational purposes, you can do it. If you need it irshad, to guide somebody or to teach, or taw'iyah, advise, and you need to draw the picture, or a picture needs to be drawn, it's permissible. Are we all together? By the way, we haven't spoken about at all photographs. We're not talking about photographs yet. We haven't got to that yet. We're talking about hand. Okay? Number 6. It is permissible to draw a face without a body. You can draw the face by itself without any body. You're allowed to. And you can also draw the body without the face, but you cannot draw it together. Number 7. Photographs, pictures, mobile phone pictures, all of that do not enter the hadith of taswir batatan. The discussion of pictures has got nothing to do with photographs. The mobile phone pictures, all of that, they do not fall under the taswir, which is manhiyun anhu. Sah? So this one is what? It's mubah. All of these ahadith doesn't apply to the pictures that are we all together? The Prophet ﷺ, what was he talking about? Hand and carved. Does that make sense? He was not talking about photographs. So the photographs do not apply to any of these ahadith. Good. Number 8. Children can play, and they can use dolls. A child can have a doll, horse, which is a haywan, dhawat al-arwah. He can have that. He can have a toy of a person. Okay, all of that is permissible for the what? For the child. Number 9, it is not permissible to draw pictures and to leave them on, to draw pictures on your clothing. It's not permissible. The watul arwah. Can I make cartoons that have voices, that have sounds, that have... It is permissible to produce cartoons that have eyes, have body, all of that. It is mubah, it's permissible, as long as it does not contain any aqeedah related problems and any akhlaq related issues. As long as there's no vulgar speech that's used, and as long as there's no aqeedah related issues, cartoons are permissible. Cartoons are what? Permissible. Is it allowed to play? And remember what angle I'm speaking from, so don't take my word out of context, inshallah ta'ala, and I hope those who watch later don't take my words out of context. Is games that are played, games that are played, video games, are they prohibited from the angle of pictures and tasawwir la? From the angle of pictures and people be running around, and it's not prohibited from that angle. Are we all together, brothers? So playing these games where there's individuals running around, it doesn't make it prohibited. It does not make it haram whatsoever, as long as there is no aqeedah or akhlaq related problems with the video. And of course the other issues come into place, and I'm not talking about that time wasting and all of that, and other issues that might cause it to be haram playing video games. That's another discussion. I'm not talking from that angle, okay? That's what I meant. I'm specifically focusing on what angle? Just taswir.